So once we prioritize and we define these points, the key is to define them in observable terms. How do we see it? How do we hear it? And then how do we do it? And it's a fun process. The players are engaged in it, and we're asking them. We're not just relying on what the coach tells us. We're asking the team what's working for us now, what's not working for us now, and what are we going to do about it? So once we're able to define them in observable terms, that leads to our final stage, which is accountability. So if we have some standards that relate to work rate, team communication, or leadership, when that doesn't happen, who's going to step in? Who's going to challenge us? Are we going to wait for our coaches? Or are the team leaders going to step in? Or can any teammate step in and remind us, hey, we're not communicating the way we should. We're not working as hard as we should. We missed that leadership opportunity. So in terms of improving upon our accountability, it becomes critical to use these defining, observable action terms to our advantage. In this next segment, we're going to see what this first team meeting looks like with a soccer team. Prior to us meeting today, Coach forwarded you an email that has some questions on it. And I do that just so it kind of gives you, as the captain, some time to think about it, apply it to your game, apply it to your team game. All right? So I see that you've brought those in today. I certainly appreciate that. So just going to the first question. I know we haven't started out so well, but really wanting to focus in on the process. What is working for this team right now?
I think the team chemistry, really, the way we communicate on the field and the way we don't even fight with each other. A lot of soccer teams, they don't communicate and argue. We actually get along together, and it's just great.
Thanks for that.
Also just the way we work on the field. Like, we've had tough results, but throughout all 90 minutes of every game, we've really been fighting hard to the end, and it seems like we've always set up a goal in the end that just breaks the back when we're trying to push forward, but we've been playing really hard throughout the past 4 games, so can't ask for more.
And those are definitely some pretty big intangibles in terms of having the team chemistry. And I know you guys have some new players coming in, and some of you are trying some new positions. So it seems as though your flexibility in dealing with adversity could be a potential strength as well. So in terms of kind of having the chemistry, in terms of having the work rate, and coaches dream of having a team that have those particular attributes. It is important to validate and summarize the input from each person. In this next segment, we're going to see what this first team meeting looks like with a tennis team. Team, congrats on your success so far this season. It's been a fun run, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Coach and I have talked. It is our plan to have this meeting and maybe 1 or 2 others in order to maximize what we already do. In my experience working with many championship teams, many teams want to add something new. They want to change what they've done. But it's my experience, it's best for us to acknowledge what got us here, acknowledge our strengths, and how can we keep drawing from that same well. Coach sent you guys some email questions, so I certainly appreciate you getting right on that. You have the compilation of that feedback in front of you. So our plan for this meeting is to have you go through that. It's very important for us to kind of realize what our teammates are thinking. It may be similar to ours, it may be different, it may be similar to what Coach thinks or different. That's why it's very important for us to take some time to collaborate. And once we get to that point, we'll identify some patterns, some things that are similar, maybe some outlier statements that 1 or 2 of you may have addressed that we'll talk about. So we'll spend some time discussing what we believe got us here. And then we'll also look to kind of prioritize these. Are there things that may be a little bit more important than something else? And then we're going to kind of use that as our focal points. Because we can think of so many different things to think about and to prepare for, but I'd rather go the simplicity route. Let's focus in on 2 or 3 main process points. If we follow these, it's going to lead to optimal preparation and then optimal play. So does that sound like a plan? Okay, so if you can just take a few moments just to read your teammates' suggestions and their feedback. The first question that I'd like to direct you to, what worked especially well for us? What got us to this point? So we're really looking in on what works for us right now. Could be a team thing, could be an individual, could be training, could be something physical, could be our coaches. So if you can identify any particular patterns that you have seen on your sheets that you'd like to address now, What has worked for us to get us to this point?
I think what works well for us is that we have like a good amount of depth in our team, and we have like a great drive to try and do our best. So we practice really hard. All of our practices, we try and work on what we're good at and aim to get better at what we have issues with.